In today's video, I am sharing easy lunchbox ideas that your kids will love. This is what I packed my daughter this week for school. She's getting hot lunch one day this week at school, so I'm sharing 4 lunch boxes in today's video. I share what I pack my kids in their lunches every day, so if that's something that you're interested in seeing, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Let's go ahead and get started. So this first lunchbox is a classic that I added a little twist to. So first I'm starting off with some bread and then some peanut butter, but this time I went with apricot jelly. I'm gonna see what she thinks about it. This is personally my favorite jelly, so I'm hoping that she likes it. Let me know down below if you have tried apricot jelly, because my husband thought I was a little bit crazy, but this is how I always ate it growing up. It's one of those things where when you have it, you just can't go back. Now I'm cutting it into a diagonal just to make it easier for her to pick up and eat. If I'm being honest here, this looked really good while I was packing it and I really wanted it. And then moving on to the sides, I'm adding in an apple. Now I've shared a video on my channel showing how to keep an apple from browning in the lunchbox. If you want to see that video, I can link it down in the description. It is my absolute favorite hack that I've learned so far this year. Now for her veggies, I'm adding in some carrots, but I'm gonna be using this new crinkle cutter that I've recently purchased. It's my new favorite purchase. It just looks so much prettier, just something, a little texture to add to the lunchbox, make it more fun. Now for her treat, I'm adding in the Sour Punch Bites, adding 1 of each color into the lunchbox. My daughter loves sour candies. And then for her food picks, just this bow and arrow and a purple star. Just a simple way to make a regular lunchbox more fun. Here's how the first lunch turned out. Now that I've packed it, I'm going to put it all into a lunch bag. I often get questions about my lunch bags on where I get them. This one specifically was from Walmart, but if I find something similar, I can link that for you as well. To go with the rainbow lunch bag, I added in this rainbow and unicorn napkin and a note that says, "You make my heart full." To drink today, she's getting this Good to Grow juice in the flavor Fruit Punch. And that is it for the first lunchbox this week. Moving on to lunchbox number 2. This is another lunchbox that is super easy that you could actually throw together in the morning when you're running out the door. Now, my daughter told me that there is some kids in her school who always get bagels for lunch in their lunchbox. So I thought, let me try it. I guess I hadn't thought of that. This one is the honey and pecan flavor. It's really, really good and sweet. You can see the pecans in there. If you have not tried this cream cheese and you see it at your local grocery store, go ahead and grab it and thank me later. Now I did add a pretty thick layer, so I'm just putting it on one side of the bagel and adding that into the lunchbox. Moving on to some healthier foods, I'm adding in some cucumbers. I absolutely love packing lunches at the beginning of the week when I have a ton of groceries and a lot of options, not so much at the end of the week when we start running out. So as of right now, I'm using some cucumbers, and for her fruit, I'm going to be adding in this mandarin. For those of you who are new here and don't know, I'm actually a mom of 4, so I have plenty of lunchbox ideas here and then on my Instagram as well if you ever need some ideas. Now moving on to the treat, this is no added sugar Hue chocolate chips that I'm adding into the lunchbox, and then I'm adding in these eyes just to make it a little bit cuter and funnier looking, and just to put a smile on her face when she opens up her lunchbox. On the side for the food picks, I'm going to be adding in this ice cream scoop one as well as a bow. Here's how her second lunchbox turned out this week. Taking this and packing it into the lunch bag. This is just a mermaid print one. And then I'm going to be adding with the lunchbox this cute summertime napkin that I found at Dollar Tree and a note that says, "Make someone smile." For her drink today, she'll be taking this Juicy Juice fun-sized berry flavored juice box. And that's it for lunchbox number 2 this week. Moving on to lunchbox number 3. For this lunchbox, we're actually starting off with packing the sides first. I'm adding in some of this broccoli. Now this is already cut broccoli, but I'm going to cut it even smaller because I want the pieces to be bite-sized and make it easier for her when she opens up her lunchbox. And then for her next side, I'm going to be adding these tomatoes that we grabbed at Costco. It was a big pack of these tomatoes, and we've been going through them. My kids are in a tomato phase right now. So cutting one up and adding that in. And then for her main meal, I'm adding this tortilla. This is just the one that I use that we have right at home right now. So I'm going to be using that for her lunch. And I'm adding this mayo. Don't ask me what the name of this mayo is. I have no idea, but apparently my husband has been looking for this mayo for like 2 years. And he finally found it and he was very excited about it. So we're going to go ahead and use that. And then I'm adding in these turkey slices to make things a little bit easier, and then topping it off with a slice of cheddar cheese. Now here comes the hard part, rolling this carefully. It is going to stick together because of the mayo, but I'm going to get rid of the end piece because that one does not stick together too well. But you can see how this turned out, just a pinwheel. I actually don't think I have packed the turkey pinwheels before for her, but once I packed this, I saw that it wasn't enough, so I quickly went and made a second one to fill the lunchbox some more and to make sure that she feels full at school. Now that her lunchbox is full, I'm adding in her treat. These are the jelly beans from Target. My kids picked them out when we were there, and so I'm just going to give her one of each color. For today's food pick, I'm adding in some animal ones into her fruit and veggie. And then this is how the lunchbox turned out for our third lunchbox, adding all this into a lunch bag. Now this lunch bag is actually from Five Below because I do get a lot of questions on this one as well. Adding in that lunch box, and then for her drink today, she's getting the Honest juice box in the apple flavor. Here is her napkin today, just a cute print one, and her note says, "Be the good in the world." Closing that all up, that is it for lunchbox number 3. Moving on to lunchbox number 4 this week. Now this fourth lunchbox is more of a breakfast for lunch. I saw these at the store. They're in the Madagascar vanilla flavor, which I have never seen before, so I just had to grab it. Plus they say thick and fluffy. It just sounded so good. So I grabbed that, and then we're getting towards the end of the week, so I'm running out of fresh produce. So I'm using this can of sliced pineapple, but I'm just gonna cut them into quarters so that they fit better in her lunchbox. And I really feel like the pineapple canned tastes the same as a fresh pineapple. I really don't ever notice the difference, so I like to keep these on hand just as backup for days like this. Now to add some more protein to this meal, I'm adding in this Good Culture cottage cheese since it does have 14 grams of protein. Now, I personally don't really like cottage cheese except for this Good Culture brand. You can see how whipped this consistency is. It does not taste like cottage cheese. I'm telling you, I'm not a fan of cottage cheese, but this I actually really enjoy. Now that the waffles have fully warmed up, you can really see how thick these waffles actually are. So I'm gonna go ahead and add them both into the lunchbox. And then there is still that small section left. So instead of adding a treat, I'm gonna add this 100% pure maple syrup that I grabbed from Target into the section for her to cut her waffle into pieces and dip in there. And then she could add the pineapple on top of the cottage cheese as well, or just eat them separately. For today's lunch bag, I'm adding them all into this cute fluffy animal one, adding in the lunch box first, and then for her drink today, I'm using the Super Mario Fruit Punch flavored Capri Sun. I'm also adding in a spoon for her to scoop her cottage cheese with, and this golden napkin for her note today. It says, "You are so very loved." That is it for the fourth and final lunchbox. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.